There we go.
Cool. So happy Friday.
I'm so delighted. I've got a weekend with the kids all to myself. So
Oh, really?
yeah.
Can I start off by getting my catchphrase? I think I told you about it the other day. Can I get a whoop whoop?
Oh, whoop, whoop.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So yeah, it's lovely to meet you. So your name Arjuna. I've pronounced that correctly, didn't I?
You got it. Whoop, whoop.
Oh, whoop whoop. So I was like, I've got to pronounce it correctly. Yesterday, I was like, just to make sure before we record this.
No,
So
well, beautifully said.
I actually went round about an hour ago because I live in Newcastle upon Tyne. And I go around doing something called the feel good movements. And I basically go around interviewing people and just making connections and talking to people to get them to focus on good things, trying to spread the smiles like a Mexican wave, basically. So if I was to interview you, like which I kind of am now, and I started off by saying, if you think of feeling good, what words do you associate with it and why?
I think of feeling good. What word do I associate with it?
Yeah, so what sort of words do you associate with feeling good and why?
Oh, I think it's a whole bundle of words. It's peace, it's calm, it's being content in my own skin, it's being excited. I think it depends on the moment.
Yeah.
Is it that feeling on a Friday afternoon where you've had just a great day of week, a great day or a great week?
Yeah.
Is it that feeling when after a really satisfying meal? Is it that feeling when you've just climbed a mountain?
Yeah.
My wife's away to climb. She's going to be 15 hours on her feet.
Oh, wow.
And that's going to
Where's she climbing?
in the
Where?
lakes,
Oh,
the
okay. Oh, the
yeah,
lakes is beautiful.
yeah, yeah. Yeah. It's a tricky one because there's a whole range of good, isn't there?
There is.
Yeah.
Correct. What are your go-tos then? Say your go-to things to like uplift you.
Being outside, running.
Yeah.
I love running in the mountains.
Nice.
I love kayaking in rivers. I love doing this kind of thing, actually.
You like doing this?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good, isn't it? So do I.
Yeah.
Like it was Lisa, wasn't it, who saw your post and tagged me in it. And I'm totally for this. I was like, absolutely, yes. We'll have a chat and see where we go from there. It's always nice connecting with awesome people.
Yeah. Cool. But yeah, I meditate every day, and that, sometimes I kind of have to force myself to sit down, but I always like the process. I always like the end result.
Yeah, sure. So your meditations you do, how long have you been sort of into that for? What was the reason why? Was there a reason why you got into it, and how did it sort of go from there?
Yeah, when I was 17, I dropped into a yoga class at university, and there was this. I mean, she seemed ancient, but she's probably in her 60s. This woman next to me, and she just cleaned the floor with me. And I thought I was pretty strong and flexible, but she was so much better.
Right.
And
Wow.
but so it wasn't only the physical challenge; it was the way I felt like I levitated home. I walked home and I felt like I was floating. I felt so good, just on a physical level, but I felt so calm up here.
Yeah.
And I remember having a shower that night and just sitting in the shower for, I don't know, it seemed like 20, it seemed like an hour, but it was just that sense of, oh, so good.
Like a sort of out of body kind of experience.
Or maybe totally in body.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
But just sitting there in the shower, being so content. I have no need to rush anywhere. I've just got hot water pouring on me, and this is so good, So
Yeah.
yeah, so that's what got me into it.
Okay, fair. And I'm sure you probably hear a lot of people say this as well, where people say, oh, I don't have time, or people say, oh, I can't meditate. But it's one of those things where it's just like anything, like riding a bike, isn't it? You've just got to almost train yourself, and it's about consistency. So if you found just by continuous regular practice, what would your message be to people who said that to you, saying, I can't do it because I can't concentrate? Was there any advice you would offer to people?
Yeah, absolutely. You can. And you've just got to a slightly funky understanding of what meditation is.
Okay.
And in reality, it's incredibly enjoyable because you don't have to stop your mind. It's about having a different relationship with your mind. And when people get the right understanding and the right tools and the right direction and all of that, they go, oh, I can, look at that.
And it's linked a lot with breath work, isn't it? The two go really nicely together.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, the breath is great for just calming the body and well, altering a state in many different ways. So especially in the beginning, it feels like you're doing something,
Sure. And have you got any sort of particular breath cycles? There's so many different kinds, isn't there? Is there any kind of cycles that work for you best, or?
Oh yeah. Recently I've been getting into a couple. One is taking a deep breath in and then a secondary top up, and then a long, slow exhale out the mouth.
Right.
There's a guy called Andrew Huberman who kind of popularized this, and it's just a big breath in and then a second really short, because you're already full, but it seems to that second top up and then that long, very long, slow exhale out the mouth. Seems to just be incredible for people.
And do you follow Wim Hof at all?
I know, yeah, I've done a little bit of Wim Hof, but I think I'm not sure. I just haven't quite clicked with it.
Okay. Now I suppose it's one of those that not one thing is a fit for all, isn't it? It's whatever works for the person.
Yeah. Have you?
I have. I did a workshop, because he's obviously got all the different people who've been through his trainings, and then they facilitate different courses and things. So I did one in 2019. It was just before COVID, and that was actually in the Lake District. And we started off in a room. I think there was about 15 of us, and we did like the breathing cycles, and they were really powerful. I just remember the feeling in the body, and at one point I think I said something like, I feel like my mind is in my legs or something. It was really great, because everything out of my mind had just gone and gone, and it's though it was just coming out. It was a weird but good sensation. And so we did those, and then it was in February, and it was absolutely chucking it down with the rain. And then we just went out to Lake Windermere in our swimwear, and I remember people looking at us being like, right, just as you do on a February day in the rain, going out in your bikini and shorts. And then we submerged ourselves into the lake, from neck downwards for 2 minutes, and then we did what I think he calls the horse stance, sort of a way to warm up. So no, I did enjoy it. I am back to my cold showers again as of late. So I love them. And I need to start doing the cold water dips again, because they were good.
Yeah, I can't do the shower. We've got a river at the bottom of the hill here, and I just wander down there and get in. But something about turning the dial to cold, I just can't.
You kind of have to be like, right, okay. So I'll have a hot shower first, and then I'll literally get my watch and I'll start the stop clock, and I'll make sure I do at least 1 minute.
Yeah.
There's some people I know do 5 minutes or plus, easy. But no, I did like that. But I think ultimately breath cycle, I think I'm just a lot more aware of my breath and just focusing on calming down like the nervous system, because I'm quite high energy. So I'm always like on the go. And then now I have to be like, okay, stop, slow down.
But that's such a good thing. I mean, I think I was just talking to someone about this today, is that he meditates, but he was saying, life is really stressful at the moment. And I'm like, but you got to realize meditation doesn't stop when you open your eyes. That's when it begins. And stress is optional, really. It's to realize that it's building and take those steps back to go, oh, hang on, this is not helping me. It's so useful. But it seems to be just this disconnect. So many people aren't realizing that it's almost like the currency of getting things done in life seems, people feel like it's, well, I'm stressed, so I'm getting things done. That's just the way it is. But I don't think it is at all. And so that's what I found, is that when I started, I realized how good life was when I was calm and present, and I could feel the energy building or the frustration building or that sense of dread.
Mm.
And I found, back off. Do you know,
Yeah.
it was when I prioritized that sense of calm presence, I could see when I was leaving it quicker.
Yeah.
I think the breath work is so useful because it puts you into, you're dumping in cold water, aren't you? And the first thing you want to do, the body just wants to
Go
panic and
like
ventilate.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's so useful for, cutting around the office or when the kids
Oh
climbing
yeah.
up the wall or whatever the case may be, just to go,
Yeah.
oh,
It's
hang
just
on.
like pausing, isn't it? Just being like, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely awareness is always the word that I come back to, and you yourself probably as well. How long would you say, or that you've had this level of heightened awareness?
Oh, well, I think it's been and it is just a constant work in progress,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I
but
agree.
I think it's changed from the focus for me used to be, I've forgotten, I've made a mistake, I've fallen. Do you know, it used to be on the forgetting.
Yeah,
And now it's making the most of moments when I am aware and awake. It's like, oh, cool. I can be here. I
yeah,
can live now.
yeah,
And so I think that shift is, I don't know if it happens for everybody, but that shift from, oh, I was asleep to, oh, I'm awake. It was
yeah.
something.
There's
I
a
don't.
lot of people talking about, especially at the minute, that there's a big awakening at the minute,
Uh-huh.
and there's so many. Yeah, there's a few people have was talking about that with friends recently, and about the big awakening. Do you feel that more people are becoming more sort of
I
awake?
don't. I don't. I used to, I mean, tell me more. Well, how does that look?
I think it's just more aware of sort of the world and what's going on,
Uh-huh.
especially maybe after COVID as well.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. So sort of more
I
socially,
guess
politically
there's
aware.
different. I guess there's different interpretations of how you can be awake, isn't there? So,
Yeah.
or more open minded
Mm.
a way of it as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's interesting. Ages ago, maybe even 15 years ago, there was a film called the Indigo Children, or something like that. But it was all about how this next generation would save the planet and this and that. And um, awesome. Hopefully, yes, fingers crossed. But it seems like every generation or every few years there's it's like the end of the Mayan calendar. The whole world was going to end, and look,
Yeah,
we're still here. It's
I
funny
know.
these complete like. I think we're really good at this is the end of the world or this is what's going to save us.
Mm, yeah, yeah.
Um, as opposed to, and I'm not really sure my thinking right now. So, but I think there's a beauty of uh, not hoping, not putting all your hope in what might happen,
Mm-hmm.
or even it's a funny thing I've seen, in terms of personal development, it seems that we become better people. But I think there's a stage in all personal development or spirituality when you realize that you don't transform yourself.
Mm,
That when you're present and out of the way, the natural you can come forth.
yeah.
And the part of us that wants us to be different is kind of the part that gets in the way of us just naturally being.
Mm, yeah.
And I think sometimes the indigo children, the great awakenings that happen, it is kind of can be, not always, can be a reflection of this. I'm not good enough yet. I need to evolve and become better. I'm not enlightened yet. There's an inherent self-criticism and comparison there
Yeah.
where most of the world's religions have said God is love. At the core
Mm,
message is God is absolute unconditional love.
yeah.
And it goes against that, you know.
Yeah.
So
So with regards to, tell me sort of more about what you do,
uh-huh.
and sort of and you can maybe combine your purpose or your mission into that as well.
My mission.
Where to start?
Well, I'm an Ashaya monk, and I practice and I teach something called ascension. And for me, it's just this beautiful set of tools, meditation, mindfulness, prayer tools that are based in appreciation, gratitude, love, compassion, that enable a person to go beyond the weight of their history, to enable them to master fear, but leave negativity and limitation behind. That sort of ascension, rising into the. I was doing a course a couple of weekends ago, and they were people arguing, going, yeah, it's not rising up, it's dropping down. No, it's not dropping down. It is definitely this elevation. Guys, just
It's like
yeah, doesn't matter. But that's my mission, really, is just to make people, as many people as I can, be aware of that there is a better way of living. And when you get present, when you get out of your head, like we're saying, that already perfect version of you can come forth. And that we're very addicted to thinking, we're addicted to the past and the future, and to live even a better life, you got to get here. So
no, I could definitely relate to that. I mean, again, I think you said work in progress before. I definitely still feel like I'm on my journey, but that was something I used to do a lot of, and that was live in my head a lot. And then again, it just building on that awareness. So that's something I can resonate with, because that's something I used to do a lot of that. And wasn't present, and I was always looking back on things. So
I realized I was in trouble when, and I don't know how long I've been doing this, probably my whole life, but I would drive to work, but I wasn't actually driving. I was having imaginary conversations in my head, and I was living in one of the most beautiful places of New Zealand, just spectacular mountains, lakes, rivers. I was an outdoor instructor, and I put myself there purposely to be there in this beauty, and I just didn't. Most mornings, most evenings, I didn't even see it. I was busy having chats, and I should have done that, just in my head. And one morning I pulled up at work and pulled on the handbrake, and it was just this great, oh man, where was I? So I know totally what you mean.
So how long ago was it since you had that moment and you decided to change or build on that?
Probably a good 20-25 years ago.
Okay.
But I think life has been nudging me a lot, as it does everybody. I think people ask me the purpose of life, and I think it will constantly nudge you to wake you up to how to live it well. And some of those nudges are nice and gentle, and some of them are a bit more of a Zen slap.
Off the scale.
It's kind of those moments where you're going, why?
No, but my latest thing is that a lot of people say, why is this happening to me? But I always love saying, why is this happening for me? So it's everything's happening for you, isn't it? Even the challenges, they're just either lessons or things that you need to grow through.
And that's such a beautiful way of putting it. That's the one thing we do get to choose, is our attitude. So you may not understand why, but just having the attitude go, well, I hope that, I'm guessing it is for me.
It's kind of that responding instead of reacting as much, because if say if someone annoys you, or say someone cuts you up on the road, and a lot of people will be like, "Rawr," and like scream or shout, whereas more just allowing you to be like, okay, I'm slightly angry at the minute, however not sort of directing it so you're not as aggressive.
But I think often, the people I talk to, that we're just exhausted. And when you're so exhausted, it's so easy to get snappy. To fire off in all different directions.
So how do you deal when you have, say, well, I know there's technically no good or bad, but say what people would deem to be a negative emotion, say anger, frustration, things like that. How do you allow yourself to process that?
I think it depends where they're at in the cycle of feeling an emotion, because if it's been happening for some time, it can have some weight and momentum, right? It's you're almost witnessing yourself reacting, going, oh boy. But if you catch it early, you can, and there's about 108,000 different physical signs of this reaction or resentment or worry or whatever it might be building, when you get present or soak into the breath or whatever, it can die pretty quick.
Yeah.
You know, and for me, something like anger was a great sign that I needed to say or do something right there and then.
Yeah.
But quite often I would stuff it going, oh, they didn't mean it, or maybe I was wrong. Do you know, all this kind of self-doubt.
Yeah.
And then 3 a.m, I would go, oh, I should have said that. I couldn't sleep. So for me, anger was a really good sign of, oh, no, this is, pay attention. This is requiring action.
Yeah. What do you think about intuition?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Always go with your intuition, your gut.
Yeah, more and more. And it took me a while, I think, to not to trust it, to let it, to let it come out, really. But I think we always know when something's right. We always know when something's wrong. And it's always after the fact we go, oh, I knew that was going to happen. And what a great adventure to follow your intuition, right?
Yes.
You can't go wrong.
No,
your head will go, don't do that.
No, you'll be like, I've got to trust it. Yeah, I think you'll always know what feels good and what maybe doesn't feel as aligned and good for you.
But I think the more you trust it, the clearer it gets.
Yeah, definitely.
And so maybe there's some teething problems or whatever in the beginning, but I think increasingly you just go, wow, this is my heart speaking, so I got to follow it.
I've just thought of another question there. So say, taking you today, what advice would you give? You'll probably have heard this one before. What advice would you give a younger version of you now? Say, looking back. So if you were a lot younger, what advice would you from now give them that you wish you'd known at the time when you were younger?
I guess it depends what, if I was talking to myself at 11 or 18 or 25, but
we could say what age for. We'll go sort of say late teens, so yeah, maybe about 16 to 18, yeah, roughly that age.
Yeah. I was a competitive swimmer, so I was spending twice a day, every day in the swimming pool.
Right.
My coach would talk to me a lot about mental toughness. And in fact, I even had those 2 words on the ceiling. So when I woke up and didn't want to get out of bed, it said mental toughness. I go, oh, okay.
Yeah.
But I think I would tell him to relax. That effort is important, but unwinding, stretching, the warm down, taking time to be nicer to people, support them.
Yeah.
Do you know? And I think in when you're a teenager, things can get very black and white, and you're either with me or you're against me, kind of thing. I think it would be along those lines of I want to be in it for a long game, because I got injured and basically couldn't do the thing I wanted to do. I was aiming for the Olympics. I couldn't.
Wow. Okay, so you're a very high level then.
Yeah, just burnt out, basically.
Yeah. So I didn't realize. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you there. I didn't realize how many hours you have to designate to swimming. Like one of my colleagues, well, when I used to work at a job a couple of years ago, and her son was really into swimming, and they'd be out this 5 o'clock in the morning at the pool, and I don't think I realized that. Obviously I know it's but I just know I had no awareness of that at all. So you spent hours. Is that, how many hours did you say you'd spend?
Well, I was doing probably 12 pool sessions of at least an hour and a half.
Wow.
And then maybe 2 gym sessions, 2 weights. So just a lot of work. But the thing that I would really tell that teenager is you do swimming, but you're not a swimmer. My whole identity was wrapped up in it. And when when I got injured, it was like, I'm nobody, I'm lost. It was very depressing.
I think that's quite common, isn't it? We put a lot of expectation or pressure on ourselves, and I say, as you said, if something happens like that, then it's like, do you feel like a loss of identity? Do you think, in a way, sort of? Yeah.
But I see it all the time when I talk to people. Maybe they've been cheated on, or their partner's broken up to them, and it's a real loss of confidence and a loss of identity, because I am this person in relationship with this person, and he or she is cheating on me, and therefore I am broken, deficient somehow. It's like, oh no.
Yeah.
So it's interesting how we look at our lives and the people and the things that we do and our careers and our possessions, and we think we are them. And they're all to be enjoyed, but we're not them at all. And the more people can realize that and become have a stable, separate sense of identity, then all of life is so much easier.
Yeah, definitely.
Because it's not about achieving or failing and then grabbing hold of this and trying to avoid that. It's you enjoy all of it.
Yeah. Enjoy the whole journey.
Yeah. I'm sure, it's become a cliche, but some of our greatest mistakes are the best things that ever happened to us, right? And but we can get so distraught in the time because we feel like we're losing a piece of us.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've found that, the people you talk to.
What about identity and everything? Yeah, I think a lot of people put a lot of focus on or what they should be, and I think, in fact, I definitely did this, because especially with parents and my dad, I knew what he wanted me to be, like as career, and I wasn't, and I know there was a level of disappointment on his side because I didn't follow through with what he saw me doing, and I felt that for a long time, that I felt like I should be a certain way, and I almost sort of boxed myself up. And again, this is only probably, I've started like expressing myself a lot more and just being real to me only over the last number of years, mainly last couple of years, in all honesty. I think COVID was quite good. I say COVID was quite good for me. I know actually it was for a lot of people, because it gave them that thinking time. Absolutely. And to think about their purpose more, what they actually really wanted to do, relationships, everything. And it sort of shone a light on things. So yeah, try not to put so much pressure on things, and as you said, just being in the present, and also knowing that it's never too late to change direction. Again, this is something that's happened to me, that embarking on a journey and thinking it was going one way when actually it's not in alignment anymore, so I'm going a different way.
I was talking to another person last week, and she was saying how I was sort of saying to her, what have you got from working with me? And she said, well, the main thing is I used to base my self-respect or my self-esteem on how much I did and how much I achieved. And I still like doing stuff. I really enjoy getting things done, but my whole identity is not wrapped up around how busy I am, which I think is perhaps the case for a lot of women. I'm not sure, but probably men too as well, actually.
What would you say your highest values are?
My values? I think it's something, I'm not sure what the word might be, but it's wrapped up around, just as you said, is knowing yourself and being able to be that without a filter. Obviously we need to play roles, and there's times you need to be the dad or the boss or the
got you,
whatever, but I think it's something about taking the filters or the editor or the self-manager out the way, so you can just be a free expression of yourself and what
exactly.
you want to do. I think
talk about the word free. When do you feel freest whilst doing what makes you feel your most free? Is that through your meditation and yoga and exercise, or?
I think two levels. That is when I'm in the outdoors, when I'm hanging out with my family or the people I love.
Yeah.
But I think really when I'm out of my head, that's where
Mm.
the boundaries fall away.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where I feel most freest. That's because there's no sense of me having to be anything. There's no demands, no insistences. It's nothing to prove, nothing to hide, just nothing in the way,
Yeah. And going back to what you do yourself, and you're sort of incorporating gratitude. So is that sort of, your usual like writing it down, or is it like feeling it in the body, or how do you go about incorporating gratitude into your sort of day to day, or how do you teach it?
I think well, I have different levels of teaching and practicing. I think when I do my meditation, a part of the phrases or the mantras that we use, just the words in there. But I think increasingly it's become, and I see this in a lot of people, it becomes more and more a natural response to life. The more present you are, the more it is your response increasingly becomes one of gratitude and joy and celebration and of everything. When you get, because our heads are the only things that say, oh, that's wrong, that focus on what's wrong and what's broken, what's missing. When you get present, there's nothing left but curiosity and intrigue and aliveness and gratitude. So I think it's,
you always hear people say that gratitude is one of the most powerful things to sort of bring you back. Say if you're not feeling so good, because there's always something to be grateful for.
But that is this happening to me or for me? That happening for me is gratitude in action, right? It's reframing and taking a different attitude, different point of view.
Definitely.
But I think the more you do it, even however you do it, the more it becomes your natural state. You realize that. I mean, my boy, when he's 3 now, so he's not exactly miserable, but when he was a baby, he all the time he was just happy and laughing and giggling, unless he had a dirty nappy or starving, and he just dawdled around the place with this huge grin on his face. I think the only thing that stops us is all the concern with the past and the future and what we don't have and what's wrong and all that stuff. So
that's why a lot of people say, like, look at children, because it's the simple things, isn't it? And just how excited they get over anything. Like, Christmas Day, they'll be more excited about a box or like the wrapping paper, or that level of curiosity, as you said. So
and all the questions they ask you, Dad, why does this happen? Dad.
Have you had any recent good questions?
Good questions recently.
Any interesting questions that they've asked?
This morning was, what do you think unicorns taste like?
How did you answer that one?
I said, I didn't know. I was
Taste magical.
What do rainbows taste like?
I like that. A lot of kids, I think unicorn seems to be popular. My friend's got 2 children, and her little 3-year-old is she's obsessed with unicorns, and I seem to find that a lot of children are into unicorns at the minute.
Oh yeah.
I think it's with bright, as I said, rainbows, magical, that sort of thing.
Yeah. But I can't remember any but they're amazing. They have no sense of time. And maybe that's one thing that we can help. Maybe that's one of my jobs, my wife and I as a parents, is to teach them that sort of time structure, but not throw out the innocence and the timelessness. If they could keep a hold of both, then a foot in each world, then that'd be great. We'll see.
Enjoy the journey. So how old are your children? Sorry.
3 and 6.
3 and 6. Good. That's just been a nice journey watching them grow. But it's gone quickly, has it?
Yep, absolutely. Well, it's both. It's gone really quickly and really really slowly.
Mm.
It's yeah, it's one of the things that I really intentionally wanted to do is to really be there with them.
Yeah.
And after I say, hey dad, come and bounce on the trampoline, I don't want to be the let me do this first, because
Yeah. No, that's good.
too much of let me do this first, and I'll miss out on all those moments,
Yeah. Miss out on the childhood.
Yeah, they're going to be 18 soon, and
Yeah.
telling me I'm an old
Have
man.
that next new chapter.
Yeah.
So what would you say is your favorite, or it doesn't have to be the favorite, but what one of your favorite sayings or quote, or is there any?
Yeah. Well, when you said quote,
Yeah,
next to is this happening to me or for me? That would be the same. But the quote, now let me get this straight. Can I have two?
You can have two. I will allow you. Only this time.
one is I think someone said it came from the Navy SEALs, like American Special Forces, but they have a saying that slow is steady, steady is smooth, and smooth is fast.
Oh.
And one of the things I bang on about is just getting people to slow down.
Mm-hmm.
There's an Australian parenting guy who says hurry is the enemy of love.
Mm-hmm.
We're in such a hurry to get somewhere else that love just disappears. And
Right.
and love for life, love for your children, love for your partner, love for your friends, all of that stuff can't exist when we're hasty.
Yeah.
And so, but we think the faster I do stuff, more stuff gets done, but it's rarely the case.
Yeah, that's sort of drilled into a lot of us, though, that you need to get this done, or there's certain time limits, you need to achieve this by this time. And
it's important to be efficient, but I think you get more efficient when you step back and slow down and take it steady. And I love that whole steady, smooth is fast.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. And the example, I saw a guy on the M1 the other day, and he was in the left lane, then he's in the right lane, then he's braking, then he was accepting. Do you know what I mean? He was kind of zigzagging, trying to get ahead, and eventually disappeared. Didn't cause any accidents that I could see. I pulled over at the next services, and I was driving in, and he was just getting out of his car.
Yeah, so it shows you didn't really benefit him anyway.
All that fire and fury he gained 60 seconds.
Yeah.
And for what cost? So that's my first quote. And my second one, now I have to get this right because it sounds better if I. So it goes, when you were born, you cried and the world rejoiced. Live a life so that when you die, the world cries and you rejoice. I like that one.
Like it. I've not heard that one.
There you go.
Like it. One of my favorite quotes is Maya Angelou, and it's, people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. So that's one that I live by, that one, and make sure that I bring that into my day-to-day.
And again, it speaks to hurry is the enemy of love, doesn't it? Because we run around doing so much for people and going, can't you see I did all this for you?
Yeah.
And all they wanted was you to be with them, and you were somewhere else, right?
Yeah. But that saying that time, your time or your presence is the greatest gift.
Yeah.
Definitely. See, I love these connections. It's great.
I've actually got
hours.
I've got a document on my, like a Word document on my computer where I just collect cool quotes like that. So I think it's about 200 pages at the moment.
I was going to say, how many have you got now?
Thousands.
You could write a book.
Yeah. Just put the quote per page, right?
Yeah. So what have you got on for the rest of your day? How are your weekends usually spent? I guess it varies.
Yeah, it varies a lot. Because my wife is away climbing mountains as of now. I'll pick up the kids, and then they'll probably be exhausted, so I'll put them in front of the TV, give them a little break, and then we'll go from there.
Oh, nice.
But maybe, as I said, there's a river nearby, and one of the things they love to do is just poodle along and pick up stones and find little bird skeletons and stuff. So we'll go and get dressed and get some snacks and go down by the river.
Something very therapeutic about being beside. I like water, like river, sea, anything. Yeah, it's really calming, isn't it?
Have you heard that idea about negative ions in moving water?
No, what's that? What's that one?
So apparently, and I may have got this right, but positive ions are actually kind of not destructive, but heavy in the body.
Right.
And they're produced by, modern technology, cars, factories, the stuff of, electricity and, the stuff of modern life. But negative ions a big source of them is from moving water. So rivers, surf, fountains, all of these things feel good because of these ions. So that's one idea. I don't know the validity to it. But it makes a lot of sense to me. I love given a choice between being in a lake and a river, I'd love being in, the river or the fountain. Make me feel a lot better.
Yeah. Where's your favorite sort of setting? Like, I think you talked about mountains and things, like being up a mountain or beach, or have you got a favorite sort of setting?
It would probably be a tie between a really nice beach with a nice surf, one that would be a lot of fun to swim in, and a mountain with some quite exciting scrambling and good views and all of that. So it'd be a good tie. How about you?
What's my sort of favorite go-to? Ooh. But I also I anywhere outside. So I'm similar to you. I love being like in the outdoors, and just sort of, I feel like it sort of regrounds me. So I would have to. I'm probably happiest when I could be in the sort of middle of nowhere on a nice walk. So I do love walking. I love all that exercise, to be honest. So it surprises a lot of people, but I've actually not really climbed any mountains as such, which really surprises people. But that would suit me down to a T, because it's kind of what I'm about, but I haven't really done it, which is surprising. But get me up Kilimanjaro. I'll start small. Wake up.
Well, an hour and a half from you in Newcastle, you've got the lakes, and then
I know. I went to, when did I take myself last? Actually, I decided I wanted a trip away by myself. It's funny, isn't it? Because some people are like, I couldn't go away by myself, but it doesn't faze me. So I took myself to the Lake District, and I had a night away, and this woman lived on a sheep farm, and she had these little yurts. So I stayed there, and it was so nice. Literally just stayed in that little yurt, and I mean, I didn't go up the mountains, but I just went on a walk. I probably walked about 15 miles or something, but I was quite happy. I was just like in my element, just by myself, walking, came back, had the little log fire. It's great.
And you come back and you're hungry and food tastes good, and
it does.
And you're like, and there's no problem sleeping at night. You never have trouble falling asleep after a day like that, do you?
And it was so quiet when I woke up, and you could just hear sort of just sound, the nature sounds, and I was just like, this is so nice. I just wanted to lie there and listen to it. It's so calming.
When I was an outdoor guide in New Zealand, we used to have these camps, I'm not sure what you call them, programs for kids who've been kicked out of school too many times. And we'd just get them out of the city, away from their friends, away from their dodgy families, and just do that. Take them for a walk, take them rafting, get them cooking their own food. And man, they were different people after
they were
sitting around a campfire with full bellies, warm, content, exhausted. They they were amazing kids. Yeah, so.
Yeah, I bet that was nice to see, like witness them sort of growing in that period of time.
Yeah, it was brilliant.
Yeah.
The trick was because so often they would just go plug back into their old families, old friends, and just kind of fall into the same old habits.
Yeah.
So the trick was really getting them to see that it wasn't only about their choices, but the people that they hung out with.
Yeah.
And I remember seeing a guy in a service station, and I didn't remember him, but he was like, hey, how you doing? I came on a course a couple of years ago. And what he'd done was shifted, 300 kilometers, 3 hours away to another city, just to escape, to start afresh. And it was incredible.
Yeah. Talk about New Zealand. I still haven't been to New Zealand yet, but I really, really want to go. It's on my list of places to visit.
Yeah. But you can pick up like maybe a full-blown camper van, one of those big, huge things.
Yeah.
Or you can just get a big, almost like a minivan estate thing, and just that little mobile camper is so useful.
To
if
get
you do that
from A to B.
Yeah, and just to have a little cooker in the back and a place to sleep if you need to, and it is wild. It's a lot of fun.
No, I will get there one day. But everyone I know has been. I've not heard anything bad about it. I've only heard really positive things. So
yeah. Well, I haven't been back for 5 years now. We were going to go back in the middle of lockdown, but couldn't.
Oh yeah. So where you grew up?
Mm-hmm.
Where exactly was that?
Near Wellington, which is the capital.
Okay, right.
I was on the opposite side of the harbour from the main.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But yeah, I love it.
Yeah. You'll get back one day.
I'll have to. Yeah. Oh, I mean, the kids need to meet their cousins and
definitely.
Uncles. Yeah. But I've been doing a little bit of talking about nature. I've been doing a little bit of work with people with post-traumatic stress, especially military guys, and combining breathing, cold water swimming, meditation, being present, but also out in nature. Man, it has a dramatic soothing effect on all of it.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so it's powerful stuff. Just getting outside, isn't it?
I love it. So how can people who are listening or watching this, how can people sort of find you? Do they just contact you through Facebook or?
Yeah, absolutely. That would, or I'm on Instagram, but I have a website. I've got some free meditation audios. I've got 4 of them there.
Oh, cool. Yeah, you can always attach them and I can share them or whatever you'd like to share.
Yeah.
And people can always contact you to reach out.
To get those, If they're quick, the site is not quick, but with a pen, Arjuna Ishaya /free audios. And that'll
cool.
And they'll be able to download those. And then
brilliant.
Helpful. They're on my email list and all that, but they can unsubscribe if I get boring. So
they get boring, but
cut you out.
Yeah. Oh well, yeah, it's been really, really nice chatting.
You too, Emma. Is there anything else? Is there anything I can do for you?
Oh, is there anything you want to ask? Anything you're curious about? No.
Oh, my mind just went blank. So no, sorry.
Okay. No, I'm good. No, thank you. That was really interesting. I said just lovely to make connections like this and just to have a free flowing. We didn't plan this, did we? We just sort of went with the flow, and I like that. I think it's the best way sometimes. So
absolutely. Well, let me stop this recording so people don't.
Yeah.
How do I stop it? There we go. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.